Do you match the reps on the stronger side, or do you match the rep and reserve?
No, just same weight and reps.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Otherwise, you'd do, like, I'd probably do 2 or 3 more reps on my left.
Yeah. So the theory for that though is that to get the same level of motor unit recruitment in the muscle, that side would need those extra 2 reps.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the theory of like you want to try and grow that side as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I always go to the effort.
Yeah. Okay.
So if I do.
Yeah.
like,
right. So you'll push that side to failure still, even if it's more reps.
Yeah. So you kind of essentially just using the rep and reserve, then the reps and whatever, however you get there. Yeah. Because your muscle activation will be the same if
of course
the effort is comparable. But if the reps are not comparable and one side's stronger than the other, then the activation will be lesser.
Yep.
So, but to offset the gap, right? Because people are going to be like, well, that's stupid because it just means one side keeps getting ahead of the other, right?
Yeah.
So that's where you do like the weak side first and the strong side second, because there still be fatigue compounding over the set even.
Yeah.
And that'll still affect the amount of like motor unit recruitment you'll get from the exercise as well. So you'll just be able to recruit whatever you can physically recruit, from your brain to your muscle.
Mm-hmm.
So but you'll get, I tend to find it's always about 1 to 2 reps more. Yeah. Generally. Yeah. Which is not that big of a deal, I reckon, Yeah. Fuck, there'd be times where I just fucking lose count and I'm like, sure.
Yeah. Done.
Like this feels like, it's like, oh, I can't do any more reps, done.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I do that a lot. Like I'm pretty, rightly or wrongly, fairly flexible on my rep selection.
Yeah, I've got a question about that.
Especially because I have typically, because my sessions are time dependent, I don't want to do a lot of exercises.
Yeah.
Because moving, doing a feeder. Yeah. Versus just doing 4 sets. It's like, I'd rather just stay here and get the work done.
Yeah.
So I tend to be, if it's prescribed 8, like if I do 12, it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like the rep and reserve trumps the rep selection always for me.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And if I'm just doing like bro workouts or whatever, because you what it's like, you always default to being the coach, whoever you train with.
Yeah.
Like, how many reps is it? I'm like, I don't know, 2 rep and reserve. Like,
just
work. Go.
Yeah.
Like, you've never used this machine before, so you don't know whether that weight is right. You know nothing. You have no other information, so don't just do a rep. Go to the rep and reserve. Yeah. I think it's a really good way to go train at other places.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I always just get within 1 or 2.
Yeah, always put that RIR above your rep prescription.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because that's how you get the muscle fibers. That's how you get your muscle stimulated, in layman's terms.
Yeah.
That's the size principle out in play, because your body will recruit motor units in terms of like intensity, right? Mm-hmm. So if something is lighter, you have to train closer to failure because your body will start to recruit more motor units in those high threshold ones towards the end. Yeah. Because it looks for efficiency. It's like, fatigue resistant but low force contracting muscle fibers first. And then it's like, oh fuck, this is getting real hard. Yeah. Let's get the big guns in, high threshold, like not fatigue resistant, but very powerful, very responsive to growth. Yeah. And then the flip side of that, if you're doing something heavy, it's just fucking all hands on deck.
Quicker. Yeah.
Yeah. Which when you look at it, even rep wise, because I had a question about rep ranges, because they're like, I'm just fucking confused that some people say it doesn't matter, and then some people do. Yeah. They're just like, what's the decision-making framework for you? Yeah. For that, And then when I think about it overall, I think that you should do the least amount of reps for that particular exercise that doesn't give you joint and connective tissue discomfort. Mm-hmm. And I think if you take that mentality to everything, you're giving yourself like less time to get to those, I guess, quote unquote, like stimulating reps. Yeah. Because I think we spoke about it a couple of weeks ago. I was saying that like, someone asked like, have you ever done 20 rep set? Was that you? Maybe
we were talking about it.
Yeah. And I was like, the energy cost to get to the effective reps isn't worth it. Yeah. And I still think that has value with a lot of training today. Mm-hmm. providing that you don't do a movement in a loading scheme that's going to
be a problem.
Fucking wear your body out, right? Because I don't know how valuable like a 3-rep fucking preacher curl is or something like that, but you maybe could do like 4 or 5 rep bicep curls if you're good position.
Yeah.
But you probably I know I feel my biceps better. Like, and I feel like I have more control with like 8s to 10.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I have permanently sore bicep insertions from carrying my child. So 12s.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I said to you, I curled the 20s last week for my last set once I was warm. Yeah. But like anything over 17 kilos, it's like, even the first set of that, I'm like, well, this hurts.
Yeah.
And then it comes good. So the thought of doing 8s, like,
yeah.
Because that's 12 to 15.
Absolutely. I mean,
but I really like that because I think it's interesting. In my programming framework, I look at fatigue differently. I think you look at fatigue at a more local level.
Both.
And because I look at so much around barbell movement, it's less what's happening at the muscle, more what's happening at the system.
Absolutely.
And then like there's just more load. Like I would simplify all that complexity into like just having more load equals more fatigue. And then obviously your counter to that is like...
Yours isn't necessarily just that though, like, because yours is like more complicated exercises.
Correct.
And that means the perception of effort is higher. Correct. And that's still fatiguing too.
Yeah.
And then I guess default bodybuilding, we're trying to make the movements simple.
Agreed.
You know, because, and this is that debate where it's like, well, how valuable is doing complicated exercises like, your barbell free weighted movements?
Yeah.
You most likely have to consider the amount of them in a bodybuilding program because that's fatiguing in itself, the complexity of just moving with heavy weight.
Yeah.
And then you've got the loading and then for me, I think about also the localized motor unit recruitment and tension accumulation in the muscle because that's, at the end of the day, that's what's making the muscle.
Yeah.
That's the stimulus we actually need to drive.
Yeah. So it's, overlapping those two, like you said, say like total relative volume of an exercise versus like a barbell bent over row versus a seated cable row, the total relative volumes can be higher, as in like the tonnage. You've also then got actual loading through the spine, then you've got complexity, then you've got perceived difficulty. Systemically, there's more happening. So there's more overall fatigue. So, but then, like you said, you come back to
the muscle.
Yeah, but if you do 15 reps on the cable, on the seated row, like you're still accumulating more localized fatigue.
Yeah.
Throughout that set where you could have done 8. If your joints felt nice with it.
Yeah.
So I really like the way you've explained that though. It simplifies it a lot. It's like do the least amount of reps your joints will allow.
Yeah.
On every exercise. I think that's great.
And then there will be exercises that don't have a good loading capacity.
Yeah.
Look at like a 45-degree hip extension.
Yeah.
A push-up.
Yeah.
So that's not to suggest, like that's not to say that those movements are useless now. Like they probably don't sit in the high, they're not an S tier, hypertrophy building exercise, but they still have value.
Yeah.
So that's when you have to consider another way to drive the stimulus, which is accumulating reps.
Yeah, which is still the least amount of reps you can do.
Absolutely.
But it's limited by how much you can hold load.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, rather than joints.
Yeah. So you can't, that's it. So if you look at it through that framework, like everything becomes a bit easier.
Yeah, because say the 45, for example, it's like, well, I can only cuddle 40 kilos. So
whatever you can do with 40 kilos that doesn't beat the shit out of your body.
Yeah.
Like,
but if
just do
you're
that.
not strong and you can hold 40 kilos, but your hips don't like it, do 20 kilos and AMRAP it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think every set on the 45 should be an AMRAP.
Every set? Yeah. Fair.
Like,
well, most people are going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Unless you've got one of those loadable ones, or you can hold a barbell in front of you or something.
Yeah, that one that Pato's got, you can, what is it? Zercher hold on a cable that's pin loaded.
Yeah.
Fuck, it looks delightful.
Yeah, that's cool.
Looks really, really good.
Yeah, there's ones that have like cradles and shit, and they're like single arm and
that's cool.
Yeah, so you can hold.
Yeah,
it's
anti-rotation training.
Yeah, true. Oh yeah, like hip extension to hold
one at a
like
time.
Contralaterally loaded hip extension.
Be sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez, that'd work you like
everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Fuck.
If you could do a light load like that.
Yeah, well you wouldn't
for you would not have to do another quote unquote core exercise, man.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
To move through hip flexion and extension loaded on one side.
Bruh. And anti-rotational elements of
it.
Yeah, fair.
Look at us, functional coaches.
Yeah.